Welcome to Python Sweden. We are going to continue our workshop track, and now is the workshop How to Make Opportunities Fall into Your Lap. Everyone likes to be selected for a cool opportunity, a company that pays well and covers relocation, a competition that gives scholarship, or that incredible project that just cheers you up. But finding these opportunities is another story. It requires a lot of time, checking several web pages. If you are the type of person who likes to work smarter and harder, come with Anna in this workshop to learn how to build a web scraper with Python that makes opportunities fall into your lap. The author is Ana Clara Cavalcante. She's the COO of iTech, an access control and intelligent recognition startup, organizer of a pilot in São Luís, and information systems student at Universidade de São Paulo, USP. Took the computer technician course integrated with high school. Semi-finalist representing Brazil in the worldwide competition Tech Innovation Challenge. Passionate about technology since she was at the age of 9. So welcome Ana Clara and her workshop. Please, Anna.
Hey, good afternoon. I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna open it here the presentation. Yeah. So good afternoon, everyone. Um, Actually, here is 10 o'clock, but yeah, good afternoon. First, I'd like to thank the organizers for the support and everything. It's a pleasure to be here. So let's start. I imagined everyone, most of you, have gone through this process. So I want a job or I need a job. I don't know. I think mainly students and people who are graduating now may identify with this process. But anyway, everyone was in this point of their lives at some point. So I want a job. I need a job and well, I'm gonna look for it. And I'm a developer. It should be easy. But then you actually go to look for the jobs, and it's just so many options, so many websites, and like it's just requires a lot of efforts and time just to find potential jobs that maybe will be worth applying. So today we are going to do two things. The first one is learn a bit about web scraping and also to learn how to scrape job posts so the process will be easier. So here, a little bit of a description of what we're going to do. First, get a little bit into what is web scraping, then what to use to do web scraping, a step-by-step type of action plan, and then tips and best practices to do web scraping. So now a little bit about me. I was already a bit of introduced, but as here is said, my name is Ana Clara Cavalcante. I'm a sophomore at Information Systems at the University of São Paulo. And a curiosity about me is that I like to jump off bridges. I've done that twice only, but it's super cool, and I am so scared of it, and that's what makes it so special. And getting into it, I saw this analogy in a talk, and I thought it was like a good analogy. So I hope everyone here has seen Rogue One because this is a spoiler. So do you remember that the plans were stored in a certain facility, right? And the rebels wanted to transmit it out, but the people who were holding that content were making it easier, let's say by providing an APA. So that could be interpreted as an analogy for web scraping. In general, many websites have enormous quantity of data, and sometimes these websites have no API to access it. So of course you could do this manually. You could go there, copy the data, and paste it. I don't know, in a spreadsheet, for example. But that is really manual. And also, imagine if you have a large quantity of data. Um, what you do then? Well, here we are talking about web scraping. So, web scraping allows you to grab, uh, oops, web scraping allows you to grab and store the data in a certain database, for example. So, here we are talking about the specific process of grabbing information, grabbing a page, HTML page, extracting data from it in a repeatable way. So, we started in a format you prefer. So in this tutorial, I'm going to give you an introduction to web scraping in Python, and yeah, it's gonna be a beginner introduction. And here, first off, I would like to um, tell a little bit about the difference between web scraping and web crawling, because I see people get a little bit confusing between these two terms, and the main difference between them are: first, web scraping focuses on the extraction of the data. So let's say you have data from a website, like I don't know, sports stats, I don't know, music's names from a list, I don't know, and you need to grab it and store it in a JSON file. So here you could use web scraping. Also, web scraping have a really focused approach. So it seeks to extract specific from a specific data set, and it's just like I said. So it also can be done manually. So as I said before, you can go there, copy and paste it, and it's gonna work. Even though it's gonna be a lot of work. And web crawling, it's different. It is done by bots and spiders that crawl, right? So they go over the pages, getting the information, usually for archiving or indexing purposes. So I think the first word that comes to people's mind when we talk about this topic specifically is Google. So Google used to do that and still do that a lot. So yeah, it's a big example of web crawling. So wait a minute. To recap, both extract the data, but crawlers usually go through every page, scraping focus scraping focus on specific data. So, how did we search jobs decades ago when the internet was still at its infancy? So, well, I'm not sure about how this was done in Sweden, but in Brazil, we had newspapers. And my mom and my father would go to the newspapers and read it and manually scrape it to get the information they wanted. So whether it was like a job or just something to buy or anything like this, they would find it in the newspapers. Today we have the internet, but the job is still very feels like hunting, because we need to access a lot of pages. We need to keep on being updated on that pages, because maybe a job will be posted like 2 hours from now, and I'll have to get that info again. I'm gonna have to um, check the page again, and it's very annoying to be honest. So remember the process that we did. Instead of like going through every page every day and checking job posts that probably won't have anything to do with you, we do scraping and get jobs, and then maybe filter it by things that makes sense to you. So that is what we are going to do. We're going to make an action plan, and it's gonna be phases. And the first phase is the first step is to choose the web page. So here I've put some web pages of jobs and opportunities and etc. And I thought about this the first time because I wanted to get internships listings, and also academic exchange programs listings. So that's why opportunities for youth is one of the big ones. I try to find a little bit of websites with this purpose of Sweden as well, but yeah, I chose today we are going to work with two that are in English, but are also of remote work, so we can be anywhere in the world and still make use of the job posts there. The two websites are We Work Remotely and remoteok.io. So the second step is choose the tool. So there are many tools to do scraping, and these three are the main ones. So we have Beautiful Soup, Selenium, and Scrapy. And they have some differences and some things that make we choose one instead of the other depending on the situation. That's what I'm gonna talk right now. So Beer Soup has some pros, such as it's really user friendly. Um, it's much easier for someone that is a beginner, for example. So if you know a little bit of Python and you know the basic structure of a web page, you should be okay dealing with Beautiful Soup. It extracts HTML and XML files. As I said before, it is easy to learn. And of the cons, we have that Proof is slow and it's inefficient for big quantity of data. And also, it requires dependencies, so it may be like annoying to transfer your project to other machines. So when to use Beautiful Soup? It's mostly indicated for when we want to work with small projects and quick tests. We also have Selenium. Selenium is versatile. And why is that? So it was created to do web testing, and that's its main goal. But it's also possible to do web scraping with it, so that's why it's versatile. So if you want to work with web testing and also work with web scraping, it would be cool for you to use it because then you have like two purposes in just one tool. So it also works well with JS scraping, but as a con of it, a negative side is the fact that it was not made to do web scraping. So you can face some issues because of that. Besides that, it's also not made for big quantity of big quantity of data, scraping big quantity of data, and it have a higher learning curve, so it may be a little difficult for beginners to get on that. Scrapey would be, I believe, the most used one to web scraping, and because mainly because it's efficient and fast. It's asynchronous, has a synchronous capacity because it was built on top of Twister. It has portability, doesn't require dependencies. However, it's not really user friendly. It can be somewhat complicated for beginners, and also it requires a little bit of setup. So, when to use Scrapey? Basically, when you have a project that expects to generate large quantities of data or expects to scrape multiple times, a lot of times, that would be very useful to use Scrape as well. But as the purpose of this tutorial is to help beginners start scraping, we are going to use Beautiful Soup because it fits better the purposes. So the next step would be to check robots.txt. So we have the website, we work remotely, and the remoteok.io. And the next step would be to understand what are the rules that the owners of the website stated for web scraping. For example, here you have the Twitter file, and you can see that in user agent, it allows some pages and it disallows another pages. So everything that's followed by disallow, you shouldn't be scraping those pages. But if it has allow, then you are allowed to, of course. Something a little bit annoying is LinkedIn. I always mention it because it's really annoying. I have I have needed to use it before, and now since they don't allow scraping anymore, we can scrape any page of LinkedIn anymore. So you can see here that okay, just a second because my slide is not working. Yeah, so you can see here that if you look for user agent, that is what you should look for to see if scraping is allowed or disallowed. You're gonna see that disallowed has basically the whole website. So everything after this, meaning literally everything in the website, is not allowed to do web scraping. So many sites are more friendly to scraping, such as this one, PyJobs. You can see that the disallow doesn't have anything following that because it means that nothing is disallowed and you can scrape everything in the website. So the next step is really to understand the page structure. As we're gonna see later, scraping is very much based on understanding the structure and getting the information because of the HTML structure. So you're gonna get a link, you're gonna get an A, you're gonna get a paragraph, you're gonna get a P, a title, or whatever. You're gonna be basing yourself on the tags with Beautiful Soup. So here you can check the tools. It's in Portuguese, but if you click on the if you are using Chrome and you click in the configurations and you go in tools, you can see the developer tools, and there you can access this page where you can check the page structure by simply passing mouse on stuff. So here I passed my mouse on these tags and it showed me where this a specific part of the page is in the HTML file. So you can see here that these tags are represented by a column and with a class called tags. So we can also see that the company and the role name is in the also in a column with a class called company and position. So this is really important and you're going to see later why, but yeah, it's very important to understand how the information is available for you in the HTML file. So the next step would really be scraping, and that's what we're going to get into right now. It's just a second. So you can still see my web screen. I believe so. I hope so. it's um so uh, so we're gonna, as I said before, we are gonna use Beautiful Soup. And Beautiful Soup as a is a Python library for extracting data from HTML and XML files, as I already said before as well. So here you can see a really basic tutorial you can find in the Beautiful Soup docs. It's just for us to get a little bit more used to how it works. So first off, as every other package you use in Python, you need to import it, and then here I just copied the same tutorial the docs have. So it's just HTML file, it's HTML structure because the Beautiful Soup just parse that. It doesn't give you a page. You need to get the page from somewhere else. And then with Beautiful Soup, I actually get the tag. And here, what I'm actually doing is just creating a tag object that Beautiful Soup calls it. And what is tag object is basically this. This is a tag, and then everything inside of it ends up being a tag as well. And this is a Beautiful Soup object, but it's also a tag object because HTML ends up being a tag. So here you can see the structure, and it's really important for you to focus on what data you need to get and how you can get the data using the beautiful soup methods. So, um, for example, you could get all links by using the find all method, and that is basically what it does is return. It goes over all the page and matches what you're looking for. So here I'm looking for a link. It goes in the page, finds, okay, I have one, two, three links. I return them, and you can see that there are in a list in here. So I could also do here, um, get the link. Like I don't only want all the links. I want all the links that have a specific class, for example. So here all the classes are sister. So I'm just gonna use sister. I'm just gonna make sure everything has been run. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, and should return the same thing because all the links have the class sister. But if I put in here brother, for example, it should return nothing because if we look into the page structure, there's no link with a class called brother. Pretty simple. Anyway, there's other method also called find, but this one, it's only find, and it finds only the first appearance of certain tag. So as you can see here, it finds the first link that if you look in the page structure, is literally the first link you can find after the whole document. After studying here, it goes searching for it. This is the first link it finds. It returns it. Nothing fancy. Basically that. Here you could also do the looking for a class as well. It will return the same thing. Simple. You could also look for the tag itself. So in here, what I'm looking for is a title. So soup is uh, the whole file, and it's gonna look for a title, and it's gonna look for the first title, and the first title is this one, and that's why it returns the title. However, when you get a tag, you get the tag including it. So you have the information of what tag is that in the beginning and in the end of the string, which is somewhat know what you want. Sometimes know what you want, like almost always it's know what you want. So a really useful thing is to use this helper method called getText. So it takes off the tags and leaves only the actual text. Another useful method is called select, and you can do the things I done with find, for example. And here it's looking for all the links inside body, meaning all the links. So find, it's basically the same thing of find all in here, but select has a lot of it's more free for you to do whatever you want, because in here, for example, I can find all tags that have a certain ID inside the paragraph. So in here, it's going to return the first one because the first one is inside a paragraph and has the ID that I asked. So the same thing for the title. This title that is inside the body. So it has a class called title, and then I'm asking for it to return in a tag that has the title class inside body. So it returns um, the string containing that part of the structure page. So As I said before, we are gonna use the remote OK.io page. Is this page? Mhm. I just want to check if you are being able to see everything. Yeah, good. So this page has a lot of job posts, as you can see. And basically, what we want to do is to understand the structure that's going on. So, as I said before, you go at tools, um, developer tools, right? So, it's going to return, it's going to have the information about the page. So, basically, um, what I want to get is the name of the company, the title, maybe the tags as well, and the link, right? The link is important, so you don't really need to come here to search for the link. You can do this like um, directly on your database. So yeah, let's see how is this data structured. So the first thing I can see here that we saw before as well, on each part of this is a column. So this data is in one column, this data is in another column, and we have rows, but we need to understand what the rows are first. For example, apparently this is a row as well, which means we cannot just grab the rows, all the rows, and pretend they are um, job posts. We are gonna have to filter it better because there are rows that have other type of content. Seems, for example, this is also a row, and um, is inside of a row, and it's not a job post. So let's see here what we can get to get only the job posts. We have the table, right? Table with ID jobs board. And we also have the rows. They are rows with random content, and there are rows with the actual job posts. Okay, so the rows with actual job posts have a class called job, and that's how we are gonna identify it, really, because um, it makes more sense. And also, we need to understand how is the company um, how is the company in the title and the tags uh, is structured. So the company is a title, and the name of the job is also a title, but a different title, HU, H3. Um, and it then both are the column called company position company. And the tags, well, let's leave the tags for later. Let's first grab this two information for now. Um, as I said before, now we're gonna grab the information. There are many libraries in Python to get pages. We are gonna use here URL lib. So here are beginning setups. Basically, we are getting the page. This is important because I'm gonna explain later better, but it makes us easier to not be blocked if we keep changing it. So here we created the object beautiful soup, and this should return the whole page. Let's see, a little bit slow. Yeah. So as I said, it should return the whole page. And now that we have the whole page, we should actually get the jobs. We saw that the jobs are basically there's a table, and there is roles with class job. The name of the company is an H3 inside of the row. The name of the job itself, it's um, an H2. Okay, so first off, I'm just gonna create a list here of jobs, and we can get the table before of it. So we are gonna have a section basically to have a smaller piece of a tag, because right now the soup goes over all of the page, but we are not interested in all the page. We are interested inside a table, right? So we're gonna have soup find, as I said before. It's gonna find a table. It's the first table that appears. It's also the only one, so we don't have a problem here to identify classes or anything like that. We could just let it this way. And now that we have a list of jobs, we could also go through all the rows inside the table. So for TR in soup, find all in this case, find all TR. Here we're gonna have all the rows. But as we saw, there are rows with random content. So here what we actually need is all the rows that have a class called job. Okay, so right now we should be getting all the parts that have the job's content. And what we want is to have the company and the role. For each job, we're going to create an object of the job, an object, and we're gonna have the company, H3, and the role. So okay, to find the H3, we already have TR. So H3 is inside TR. All we have to do is find H3 inside TR. So we can do this by doing this, as I said before. It's gonna find the first title, and it's also the only one. And we are gonna get text because we don't want to get the tag information for no reason, right? Let me see here. Yeah. So text. Yeah. So this should be already returning. Um, should be already getting the company and the role. Let's just check it if it's doing what we want by checking this. Let's just check if this was rolled. Yeah. So now we have the company and the role. So as you can see, we got the data from all the page with the company name and the role title. So also we have here the tags, right? And the tags are a little bit more complicated because there are a lot of them, but they are inside of a column, which is makes it easier for us in a certain way. Let me see here. Yeah. So they are inside of a column, and each tag is a link. It's inside of a link. Actually, the tag is a title as well, a tree. So it's inside of a column called tags, and it's a tree. Okay. One thing I noticed is that when I get a smaller view or a bigger view, it changes the way the data is disposed in the page. because it has also this column in here that it's only shown when it's on mobile. So what we need to do is to avoid this, because if we only get the tags without avoiding this, we are gonna have this duplicated. We are gonna have this React front end, React native, JavaScript, and then all over again, because it's repeated, right? So what we're gonna do first is okay, here we are gonna get the tags, right? So job tags, create a list for that because there are many of them, and we are gonna have um I'm just gonna create something so I can have the specific tag. So I'm gonna find, wait a second, uh, a TD, right? It's D, yeah, with the class tags, right? Yeah. So in here, I should be already getting the column itself, and because of that, I'm gonna go through every link that it's inside the column because there are many of them. So for tag in get tags, tags, it's my computer is super slow, guys. Sorry. Yeah, get tags, find all. So I can go, as we saw here, I can go over all the links, the divs, or I could also go through the titles. I'm gonna go through the divs because they have the class, just so I can make it more specific. So I'm gonna go div that has a tag, right? A tag, a tag class, and right now we should be getting most of the information. I just need now to append it. So job tags, append. What we want to append is the content of the title. So we have tag, that is the div. We're gonna have the h3, that is the title, and we're gonna have the text of it. So now we should be getting all the tags. Let's check. Yeah. So yeah, we having now we have the title, the tags in a list. The next step and also last step is for us to get the link, right? This apply button here that is inside of a div. Um, and a problem I've noticed within this part of the code is that there are job posts, which means there are roles with the class job that have no button because they are already outdated. So we need to make a condition for us to get only the job posts that have a link and they are still available for applying, because outdated jobs doesn't make any sense. So yeah, it's there's apply here. It's inside of a div. Okay, the TG class is called source, and the link itself is in here. Okay, so basically what we're gonna do here is the same thing we did before. We're gonna have job um, link that's gonna get it's a tr. It's what's the name again of the class? Oh, it's source. So tr find a TD, a column with that class name. So yeah, here we should be getting the whole column. But what we want is the link. But if I do this, or if I do this, for example, I'm not gonna get the link itself because the link itself it's inside this part of the link of the tag. So for me to get that, I need to do I need to type between brackets like this. So right now I should be returning on the links. Oops, something's wrong. Let's see what it is. Mm, okay, bugged. Something is wrong, but it doesn't show. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So yeah, of course. They are, as I said before, they are um job posts that doesn't have a link because they are all outdated. So I'm just gonna, mm, yeah, I'm gonna put an if in here. So if this exists, I'm gonna, mm, I hope this works. I'm not sure if it will. If this exists, we're gonna do everything else. Yeah, it does. So yeah, now it's getting the company, the link, the role, the tags, everything. So one problem we faced here is that it's one thing that programmers will face when dealing with data. The data is not as we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be a link, but it came as just the ending of the link. So let's check what is the full link and how can we have it by getting this information. So the full link, it's apparently the website itself and then the rest that they are giving us. So I'm just gonna copy the website here. Okay. Oops. My computer is super slow, guys. Sorry. Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna copy it there as a simple string. Yeah, I think this should work. Let's check. Yeah, now it's working. It's returning um the company, the link, the role, the tags, and all the data. So that would be it for this website. These are all the information I want. And yeah, so specifying the jobs in some sort of um, technology or level or something like this. So I just made this really small and easy and simple code just for filter it. Let's say we want just the job posts that are of Python and in a level that it's a senior level. So we just get uh, there and check this for this specific um, technology and level. So just check if the technology is in the text part and if the level is in the role part. So we return all the jobs that are of Python and requires a level of senior. So yeah, we have still 15 minutes. I wanted to go over other website, but I think I'm gonna let this to you. The other one is we work remotely. It's really simple as well. It's basically the same concept. Um, yeah, I'm gonna have the link in here. It's somewhere in here as well. Let's see here. So uh, it follows the same structure of the remote OK. It just have some other informations, and you're gonna have to deal with a list of find all because they are um, I don't know the location and the level are paragraph. So you're gonna have to deal with this type of situation as well. But it's basically the same thing of the other one. So I have the name of the company, the role, the period, and the location. So let me check here. So yeah, I'm gonna let this for you to do because I believe it's almost over the tutorial. I'm gonna share also the slides with you so you can check the notebook and the code and the information you want. I have the code done in here so you can see that it's also pretty easy. Basically, I find the company because it's in a span with a class called company, and the title because it's in a span with a class called a title. And I also find the region because it's in a span with a class called region. It's also the same case of the link of the other website because sometimes it doesn't have the region, so I need to check if there is before. And here you just get the company first, the first index zero, and also the second index because it uses the same characteristic span and class company to describe company and the period. So let's just run this to see the results. Oops. Let me see what's going on. Uh, yeah, it should be working. Let's check, making sure that all the libraries are being installed. Anyway, you can also, I forgot to mention it, but you can also put the data into a data frame so you can visualize it better. Um, for some reason, it's not working. I'm not understanding why, really. Let's see. Yeah, this one is working fine. You can see the data in here. Yeah, and this one is finding a problem. Jobs, yeah. I believe it's um interesting. I don't understand why it's not running, but anyway, it's the same thing as the previous website, and we are almost over our time. I just wanted to go over the best practices and some challenges that you're gonna face while scrapping websites. Um, as I said already, my computer is super slow, so it's gonna take a time to yeah here. So yeah, the next step is basically what we've done before. That is get the data. So we got the data on into a kind of JSON structure, but we can also save it into a Excel file, or I don't know, storing the website. Really, it's up to you and how you prefer to do it. I'm not sure if you are seeing my slide because for me it's kind of weird. Oh, okay. So there is the Beautiful Soup documentation if you want to check more and learn more about it. I would also recommend you to learn more about Scrappy because it's more practical for business and other purposes. The data, as I said before, the next steps are really up to you, up to your imagination. Just imagine in what situation you could grab data from a website and store it somewhere because I don't know, you want to do something with that data, or you want to um, create other information because of the data. Anyway, here I got some tutorials for you to use. This first one is to create a Telegram bot. So you can create a bot, send alert of the last, I don't know, 10 jobs posted. Or even you can create a bot to send you new job posts when they are added. And also here, tutorial with Selenium to scrap over Glassdoor. So about the best practices, um, I've gone through some of them already, like respect the robots file. It's really important because it's just a matter of respect. If the owner said you shouldn't do scraping in a certain part of the website, it's common that it's common and also good for you to respect it. It probably there is a reason, or you should just respect because it's not your website, it's not your server, and any of that. Anyway, another rule would be do not harm the website in any way. So do not hit the servers too frequently. If you're gonna need to do it in a really repeatable way, scrape during off-peak hours for the same reason, and last, use the scraped data responsibly. There are laws now about data, and they are getting really much more known and applied. So not only because of laws, but we also should respect the data and be transparent and be really just not shady with it. The main challenges I would say are pattern changes. So imagine the code we did today to get all the job posts, and then tomorrow the remoteok.io website changes, and it's not that structure anymore. And if you remember the process we did the process completely based on the structure of the page. So if the page changes, we basically are going to have to do it again. There are also anti-scraping technologies, so that's why I said we needed to use a specific user agent. You need to also update it because sometimes the website will block you because it will identify that you are scraping, that you are a bot and not a real user. There are also JavaScript-based dynamic content that are gonna make it harder for you to scrape the data. And as I said before, as well, the quality of the data is something you need to pay attention for. Sometimes the data it's not gonna come as you wanted, as the link, right? I had to add the first part of the link because it was not in the format I wanted, but sometimes the data is going to be really messed up. It's not going to be simple like that, and you're going to have to fix it somehow. So there are other challenges, of course, but that's all I wanted to present for today. Thank you for your attention, and here are my social media accounts.
Thank you, Anna. Was a lovely presentation. And we got a question, but I'm not sure. I'm asking more information and didn't get.
So
Uh,
I don't know if there are questions.
No, there is one question, which is,
Okay.
do you have the solutions for these? And I asked which these they are asking about. I'm not sure if it was about the robot on the page or do not harm and
Yeah,
so,
I'm not sure as well. So if you could just clarify a little more your question, that'd be
yeah,
great. But
yeah,
maybe it's the do not harm, and basically those are the solutions already. Really, just try not harm the servers and access it in a way that's not gonna crash it or make it slower. Because the problem, it's really the fact that you are not a normal user, and then the owners maybe will realize that and block you because of that. Oh, okay, I gave you exercises. I'm gonna share the slides with you.
yeah, yeah, just to
So
people being, yeah, the
yeah,
exercise to do. Thank you.
just a second. So the you can access the Google Colab there. So what I'm gonna ask you is this: you're gonna find first the web we work remotely without any code. Try to code it and then see the answer. So you actually practicing in a way that you're gonna learn. Just I find that this way is better. That's all.
Uh, just to clarify, you are not sharing your screen. So are you showing something?
I shared the link with you.
The link with me.
Yeah, the slide link with you.
I don't know how to share that now. I'm going to copy and paste in the comments. If it's okay to paste in the comments for
Yeah,
YouTube,
that's great. It's fine.
then it's there.
Yeah, so
Okay.
accessing this link, you have access to the slide, and also in the fifth step of the slide, you have access to the Google Colab and the We Work Remotely website and etc.
Thank you. And just a tiny comment, like when it failed the code to fetch the HTML page, it could be you get blocked. I have a little bot working on a Telegram, and I found that the register is blocking the user agent for Python using the module requests, and I had to fake the user agent. So could be they are seeing too many scrapers using Python, then you need to fake it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've seen. Yeah, you could do that. I just wouldn't recommend it.
and we get a very nice thank you from the same person that's saying you can send 1 million requests with a sync IO if you want to crash that. Yeah, definitely you can. To crash it, it's not difficult. The difficult is to save it from people doing that and keep your service still working. So thank you again
Yeah,
for the talk. We talk, I love it. And I invite everybody else to continue watching us in the PyCon Sweden with the keynote coming from Lucy. Okay. Thank everybody.